everyone, how's it going? It's Ashton, your coach of the Halifax Huntails, and today I'm back at it with another Pokemon Draft League video. This week we are facing Aaron, or Dagster, my good friend, coach of the Aaron's Arons. You might have remembered our week 1 battle against Black Bolt, so I iterated that we'd be facing Dagster in week 2, and that he'd have a very, very tough matchup for this week, and yeah, I'll just say, rightfully so, it was a very tough match to prep for. You might notice a couple Pokemon making their debut this week in this team builder, so I'm excited to kind of give you guys a laydown of what the team is built to do, or designed to do this week, and what each of the new members, how they will impact the game as it plays out. But yeah, without further ado, I'll get into a little bit of what my opponent Dagster has access to. He has access to Ursaluna, Latias, Raikou, Primarina, Scrafty, Typhlosion Hisui, Articuno, Mega Scizor, Rillaboom, Clodsire, Knucklesack, and Sliggoo Hisui. So very, very well-rounded team. I think a lot of the mons have amazing synergy offensively and defensively with each other. Most notably, things like Rillaboom and Mega Scizor pair very, very well with Pokemon like Ursaluna. Just being able to U-turn out on a potential fire type or incoming fire type and switch into Ursaluna. Ursaluna gets off a Guts, Flame, or boosted Facade or Headlong Rush, and there's not going to be much that switches into that. So yeah, very, very tough team to deal with in most matchups. Like, Dagster did a very, very good job with building this team, building this draft to the level that it is. Yeah, just very, very tough to prep for. Gonna have to do a lot of switching, a lot of overthinking, a lot of outplaying in order to win this week, or even have a chance at contending with the draft like Dagster's. But yeah, time to get into a little bit of what my team is built to do. You might notice right away that Zygarde is there. So I don't know, you might have remembered me iterate this or bring this up in the previous video that I posted, our week 1 battle against Black Bolt. I'm trying to have it so that whenever a mon makes its season debut, it is shiny. So you might notice the Zygarde being a shiny variant and having the nickname Colgate. I'm only going to be using that nickname for this week only, or any weeks I might tend to use it shiny for whatever reason, but I think for now I'm just going to stick on the trend of each time that a Pokemon makes its debut, it's going to be shiny. It's the only time it's going to be shiny, so yeah, I decided to go with a shiny toothpastey Zygarde. But it's built to be kind of late game cleaner. I don't really see Zygarde making too many waves early on, given what my opponent has access to. Pokemon like Scizor and Rillaboom make this Pokemon's job very, very hard in the early stages of the game. If he decides to bring something like Latias or Articuno too, I could see that potentially being a little bit of an issue for just kind of being threatened out by those mons. Makes Zygarde's job a little bit harder in the early and middle stages of the game, I feel, especially in this matchup. Both teams very, very offensive, so having things that can respond to Zygarde's weaknesses early on is going to be very huge. Hence why I have this Bulu set. So this Bulu set's kind of built as a bait to be able to not deal with Scizor and Rillaboom, but definitely make their job a little bit more annoying. I figure it would make a lot of sense to me if my opponent brought something along the lines of a bulky Swords Dance Roost set on Bulu with perhaps Bullet Punch and a coverage move to hit certain mons like Colossal and such. So yeah, I was thinking if I had brought with the combination of Nature's Madness and Taunt, I'm kind of able to negate any potential quick setup by either of those Pokemon, I feel. I think otherwise they kind of just settled for free against my draft a little bit. So yeah, just being able to kind of have another mon that not instantly checks Scizor and Rillaboom, but definitely kind of stops them in their tracks of being able to just kind of walk all over me is definitely going to be nice. Hence the defense investment. I feel like this mon can do really, really well at catching something like a Mega Scizor off guard. Be able to get a Nature's Madness off, dealing half of its health, and then preventing it from Roost or Swords Dancing with a taunt the turn after it comes in. And as well, it's just kind of nice to have the little bit of speed investment to be able to, potentially make or catch a Scizor with speed investment off guard, or even speed creep a non-speed Rillaboom. That's kind of the idea for that set here, but I was kind of surprised when I was calculating with this set, even with the only the 16 EVs in attack, that Hornledge actually does a notable amount of damage to things that it shouldn't. But yeah, I don't particularly remember what exactly those Pokemon were. I want to say it was Rillaboom, but I'm not too sure. Anyway, yeah, a lot of thought with on Rillaboom and Scizor when making a set like that. But yeah, without further ado, Vaporeon is making its debut. So Vaporeon, I don't know if it necessarily has the best matchup this week, but it kind of fills a key role that my draft, or that my team for this week really needed, which was a kind of a passive switch into things like Latias and even Raikou, if it's not an offensive item. Most notably Primarina as well. I think Primarina is a huge threat to me. I would be not entirely surprised if he didn't bring it against me, but it's definitely one of the 7 or 8 primary mods I'm expecting to come. But yeah, it's kind of just built to be a passive cleric switch into Pokemon like Primarina and Latias. Couldn't really justify fitting Ice Beam or an offensive move on Vaporeon, even though it was showing in calcs to be very it had a lot of potential to be kind of just like a fat cleric with 1 attack. Just, yeah, like a good amount for chip damage, I guess is what I was trying to say. But yeah, I think I originally had slotted in there, I can't remember if it was Magnezone, but I had a Mon slotted in Vaporeon spot. It might have even been Swellow too, I'm not too sure, I'll have to look back, but yeah, I kind of just saw how much of a easy time that Pokemon like Latias and Primarina were able to switch in on this draft, and I was like, well, I don't really want to let those Pokemon walk all over me for free either. Like, with a draft like Dagster's, it's so tough to be able to account for everything with just 6 Pokemon. Like, just so many threats that he has available to him, and there's some sleeper things like Calm Eye Latias that could make an appearance. So just to kind of have a way of potentially having an innate response before the Calm Minds to account as a switch in for that is going to be super helpful, I'd say. Now, Diancie Mega. So this was kind of where I was spread a little bit thin in terms of my prep. A set like this, I didn't really feel like I had a lot of options other than this, given the speed tiers and, yeah, as I've been noting before, like some very prominent threats that my opponent has on his draft versus me. I feel like it's only in my best case scenario, given some things that he has, to immediately check this Pokemon, despite how good it is in the matchup, to run Substitute, and this will be my only Substitute Pokemon this week. It'll be the first time I've brought a Substitute setup on, but I felt like it was very necessary, given that there's some defensive and offensive nuisances for Diancie on my opponent's draft, notably Mega Scizor and Clodsire. Just makes this Pokemon's time very difficult. And being able to get potential Calm Minds off on a switch-in for something along the lines of a Hisuian Typhlosion per se, or something that I might be able to innately have speed and not necessarily immediately get my substitute broken by, could be nice. So I saw a lot of value in potentially bringing a moveset like this. I was thinking about foregoing Mystical Fire and bring something that would neutrally hit Pokemon like Hisuian Typhlosion, but I ended up going with this, and so I might end up deciding to make a last-minute change right before the battle. I will let you guys know before the battle starts what happens, but yeah, I just thought it'd be worth mentioning that before I conclude with why Diancie has the move pool that does. But yeah, it's kind of just there to act as a ensurety that if my opponent wanted to outspeed this Pokemon with Latias, you'd have to be max speed timid. Just where Mega Diancie and Latias have the same speed tier, and it was just a very good special wall breaker to pair with some of my other physical mons this week. So yeah, I might be leading something along the lines of this my three lead options that we're looking at were Tapu Bulu, Mega ANC, and Colossal. I'm not entirely sure. It kind of really depends on what I see. Last week it was very, very straightforward for me what was my dedicated lead versus my opponent, but yeah, this one's very, very dependent on what I see. I think there's a lot of potential lead options that are good against my opponent, but I also think it really all depends on how I navigate the lead after it happens. So yeah, just a lot to think about, but here is Colossal. So you might have remembered, for anybody who watched the draft stream, I mentioned that Colossal was not my favorite Pokemon. It still really isn't, but it does fit the draft, and it does provide some key roles that I was missing in my draft plan. A fire type, a stealth rocker, just a Pokemon that's like able to accomplish some key things for me. So yeah, I'm looking at my opponent's team, and I think this could be something that could make some waves. You know, being able to burn some key Pokemon or team members. If my opponent opts not to bring Heal, Bound, Latias, I think Will-O-Wisp could really put in a good amount of work for my side of things. But I guess something notable with the fact that I'm running Muscle Band and 252 Adamant Nature is that I'm able to potentially two-shot a max HP Latias with Stone Edge plus Will-O-Wisp damage if he's not leftovers. I think he'd have to be not leftovers for this to work, but yeah, there's a specific help with Latias that I was kind of hoping to exploit with this particular build, but yeah, this also allows me to potentially, after knowing what my opponent has coverage on with Scizor, potentially just be able to give a free switch into Scizor with this Pokemon here, because I kind of lack innate switches to Scizor on my draft, let alone my team of 6. So I thought that also was able to kind of provide a nice thing for me there. But yeah, just a generally another good Chipmon. We're gonna see how important rocks are in the matchup. Being able to whittle down things that will likely be pivoting out a lot versus me, such as Scizor and Primarine, I think it's going to be very valuable here too. So yeah, I thought Stealth Rock's very, very valuable, and this might kind of just be a Stealth Rock sack lead too. It's might end up being given what my opponent ends up bringing. We'll have to see, but yeah. Now this is one I'm very, very excited to use in this week, Drifblim. Now, looking at my team in Ursaluna, this is the only thing that could potentially ever, I don't want to say 1v1, but definitely make Ursaluna's job somewhat impossible. Doing some calcs, Adamant Guts boosted Stone Edges, doing upwards of high 70s to low 80s%, but if I get off the Unburdened Grassy Seed coupled with a couple turns of Strength Sap, I feel like this Pokemon just kind of is setup fodder or Ursaluna becomes setup fodder after a couple turns versus Drifblim, and that excites me. It has 2 immunities to its stabs. It's able to outspeed all of his team after a Unburden, notably to a Scarf Raikou, I believe. So yeah, I was tossing around whether or not I wanted to run Air Slash or Shadow Ball as my attacking move on the set, just to kind of account for certain Pokemon. I felt like it was more in my interest to have a offensive move that at least hits the things that I'm abusing, rather than hit the things that threaten me for neutral damage. So I thought that was a little bit more valuable. We'll have to see how that plays out, but yeah, very excited to see if Drifblim is able to make some waves for me this week. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can contact Dagster and get into this battle, and we'll see, based on what my opponent ends up bringing, how this battle goes. But you might want to stick around for this one, because I think it's going to be a good one. We'll see. But yeah, guys, I'll see you guys around for the battle. All right. Man, I just got finished confirming with Dagster the time that we'd be playing, and he said something along the lines of, after I said I'll challenge shortly, after he gave me his Showdown username, he said, but my name isn't shortly. So I don't know, maybe I'm making a mistake on not challenging Smoke Wagon, but I'm gonna challenge this shortly guy instead. But anyway, yeah, I'm little bit nervous, guys. Not gonna lie. I was meant to play this battle yesterday. Something came up with some late day things. I ended up having a couple things that got in the way of it. But anyway, we're here, and we're gonna have to face down this team sooner or later. I'm kind of glad it's happening in the earlier parts of the season, so I kind of shake off the rust, rough out the edges of getting used to this draft here. And yeah, we're gonna see how the team that I built performs. But yeah, without further ado, we're gonna get right into it. Some things I'm interested to see is if he brought both Scizor and Rillaboom. I kind of think they both have an alright matchup versus me, but yeah, we're gonna have to see here. Alright, so we see both Scizor, Rillaboom, about the 6 that I expected, other than Typhlosion. I thought Typhlosion was more likely bring than one of these Pokemon. I think it would have been Raikou, but otherwise the other 5 are definitely things that I was expecting. But yeah, see if I can't get this slide battle link ready. Okay. Yeah, very, very tough team. I think part of me is always kind of thought about leading Bulu against this draft. What are his options? Scizor could be a tough one. I don't know if he leads Scizor given that I've brought Colossal though. I think Colossal's kind of a threat to his team as a lead. So I think what I want to do is lead Bulu. Yeah, this is kind of looking like Bulu lead. Let me just take a second here. If he leads Scizor, what happens? I think something I could do is Nature's Madness or taunt it right away. I could also just hard switch into Krakatoa to Scout, because I feel like it's not going to be entirely threatening to that Pokemon at the early stages, so I think what I'll do is lead Bulu here. It's not the worst thing that could happen. Bulu comes in here and he leads Rillaboom, so we have a grassy terrain lead here. I was kind of poetically hoping for this. Now the question is this thing speed invested? Because I've only brought enough speed on this Pokemon to be able to outspeed a non-speed Rillaboom. I also don't want to get set up on right away. Like I could do a Scout play here in Nature's Madness in case he decides a U-turn. How much is Rillaboom doing to this? If he's choice banded. Woodhammer's doing a nice chunk. You might not expect me to be defensive though and want to click that, so at least give me an idea of whether he's banded or not. So I think what I'll do is Nature's Madness and kind of just go what my opponent wants to go for. I might feel like Scizor's an alright switch into this too, so it might kind of work out in my favor a bit. I think he just U-turns though. We'll see. He could have bulk up too. That could be a bit annoying. I'm doing about 20 to 25 with a Horn Leech if he is not bulky. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that Dagster could have prepped most of his Pokemon. Like, there's ways he could have prepped Scizor differently. I think he could have brought that bulky. I think he could have brought this bulkier or tanky offensive even. This is all good information to have. The earlier I can know, the better. Yeah, I'm definitely nervous that I could fall victim to the combination of really everything besides Latias and Raikou. I think the 4 Pokemon on the top row and Scizor are just very, very good against me, against my draft. Like, I think there's a lot of reason for him to U-turn here, given that I threatened him out with a switch into Colossal or Drifblim here. One thing that is really nice about him not bringing Defolition is it frees up Drift Bloom a little bit. So I'm kind of liking that I have Drift Bloom this week. If I can get that set in after figuring out what set Raikou is, or with Raikou a little bit chipped, I think it's going to have a lot of fun. It's taking an awful long time to decide what his play is going to be. Actually, while he's thinking, I'm going to take a second. Woodhammer is the thing. Well, I guess Acrobatics as well. I'm guessing Woodhammer still does more, though, without the item being lost. Yeah. Not that it necessarily matters too much, but... Let's see what he does here. I wonder if he has a setup move he's debating clicking it now. Like, it would make sense to me if he has U-turn that he doesn't have setup, and that if he has setup he doesn't have U-turn, but who's to know? I wonder if he predicts a switch into Colossal. I don't know if he predicts a Colossal switch into so early though, and clicks something like a ground type move. He either U-turns. Yeah, there's the U-turn. Okay, so we're gonna get a nice Life Orb. Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna calc to see whether he's Adamant or Jolly based on that damage. He did 23 to... Yeah, so he's Adamant for sure. Okay, unless... Yeah, well, he could be... Okay, so he could be Jolly, and that was a max roll, but... It's likely that he's Adamant Life Orb. Good to know. Getting a burn on that later with either Colossal or Drift Bloom is going to be nice. If I get the opportunity arises. It's looking like rocks are going to be very, very good for me this week if I can get them up to. I feel like the play is just to go into Scissor here, and if I get a Nature's Boundless off on that, I think I immediately taunt right after. Because Bullet Punch is not going to two-shot me. I think in that instance he's probably expecting to switch and Roost, so getting a taunt off on that would be very, very nice. How much is a Hornly? I can't believe you're questioning this. It probably only does like negative damage. Okay, you just go Scizor. You hit it. That's good. So a Scizor Mega. I will say it is no more than max HP. Just for, yeah, doing 8% max. So part of me wants to taunt, because if he's max attack with Bullet Punch, shouldn't be doing more than half. So I'm gonna try that. Just go what he is. Again, this is one of those risky plays with Bulu, but I kind of have to get an idea, because then I'll have a free switch into Colossal after that, and I might be able to get rocks up that turn. If Latias comes in, I might be able to just get up 3 Bullet Punches right away. Okay. So he is Adamant for sure. Good to know. I can go into Colossal here. So this just prevents that, even though he's getting Grassy Turn recovery, that he can't Rooster Swords Dance. You can still always Horn Leech with this Pokemon later. Also comes in, bullet punches, that's okay. So I think what I can do here is get up rocks. Something else I could do is Willow. I think rocks are fine just in case he ends up switching into Ursaluna anyway. Then what I could do is make use of my last turn of Grassy Terrain and go into Drifblim. And then start setting up. Yeah, Raikou being the last spawn here is a little bit unfortunate for Drifblim, although there is a bit of benefit to it not being Typhlosion Hisui as well. Just means that Mirror Slash gets resisted. I wonder if it might have been better if I was Flame Body on Colossal this week. Might have been a bit of a misprep. Curious to see if he has superpower. I was thinking that was a very likely bring. Like when I see these Pokemon, part of me really thinks that it's either Trailblaze, Ursaluna, or Scarf Primarina. Because otherwise, if I was dragging in Zygarde, I don't know if you'd necessarily have something right away. I mean, not that either of those necessarily beat it, but they're just kind of immediately come in and threaten it, you know, without putting a bunch of pressure on Latias. If I was him, I'd go Ursaluna here. Ursaluna or Latias would also make sense. Latias would be a little bit riskier, I'd feel. I don't think there's much risk to either of those Pokemon coming in, though. That's the thing. Dagster's team is built in such a way, or is composed in such or comprised of Pokemon in such a way to where he always has two dedicated checks to Pokemon like Colossal or lower tier Pokemon without them necessarily being dedicated checks to it. Like they're just kind of mons that beat it. Yeah, having rocks early game will be nice. If he goes Latias, I could get a switch into Diancie and use that turn to Mega. And then go from there. So I don't really know if he has an amazing answer to Diancie on his draft without something like Ursaluna taking a lot of damage or Scizor not being able to live a Mystical Fire. I think I stand by my move set, by the way, on Mega Diancie. I know I was thinking about how it might have been nice to have a neutral hitting move for a certain Pokemon, but it worked out in this case. The coverage is very strong for what my opponent opted to bring. We're both really taking our time here. I think Dagster more so. We both have very, very tough to challenge teams. can also confirm based on the damage what the Scissor is. I've been forgetting to do that. I think I did mention at one point though that it is definitely, yeah, it is Adamant nature. Yeah, that's Screaming Adamant actually. That was a high-ish roll, higher roll. Good to know. Like where he's taunted, you can't just set up and, you know, expect, he can't do setup expecting a rock turn here and then superpower me. Like this is where having Flame Body might have been nice. I am remembering that Colossal gets Flame Body, right? Yeah, it does get them. Okay. Had a bit of a moment of brain fog there. Taking an awful lot of time to decide. I think the switch into Ursaloon and Latias is pretty I think it would be easy for him to do. Especially Ursaloon. I think Ursaloon just coming in here is a good position for him to be in. He could Sword Stance on turn that I bring in Drift Blim, or that I'm switching out of Colossal. Yeah, Ursaloon comes in. So is it Guts? It is. Okay, good to know. I think I definitely bring in Drift Blim here. He immediately goes for Stone Edge. I mean, fair play. I can always just, yeah, okay. No. I think what I do here is Strength Sap. Just to account for a potential crit with Stone Edge. How much is Raikou doing to this? It was kind of innately killed, doesn't it? After +1. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit tricky around Raikou. So yeah, the play might be to Calm Mind here, but actually, let me think. I am Drift Blim with my Unburden against Ursaluna with Guts, and I definitely calculated this before. I'm just kind of making sure that my suspicions are right. Sorry. Flame Orb. Use 252 Adamant Nature. Assuming. Stone Edge from this Pokemon is doing 100. Yeah, no, I have to Strength Sap here. Avalanche, that's okay. Interesting Bring. I think now what I can do is go for a Calm Mind. Because he has to immediately go into something that is threatening to this Pokemon. Yeah, I feel like this is an alright play. I think I'm in an okay position now. It just kind of depends on what is to go down after Pokemon like Raikou come in. It might have been interesting prep for me if I forewent Will-O-Wisp. I was just kind of accounting for everything. I felt like this was the best I could do. But yeah, Shadow Ball was definitely an option to replace for Will-O-Wisp in case of Pokemon like Raikou coming in, and I wouldn't be able to deal with them as easily. Avalanche is interesting. Makes sense though, Zygarde. But not for Drift Bloom, I'd have to attack you first. When a D tier is challenged in Uber. This is kind of what this is. You know what would be really bad is if Raikou had Roar. And I got a Calm Mind off just for it to roar me out. And then this Pokemon's only purpose would be to come in on Ursaluna and String Sap. I mean, not that that's a bad thing. It would have to come in on rocks and take burn damage every time, so I guess it's not the worst thing in the world. I'd be able to out-Strength Sap the damage. I know that based on this turn. Because if he's not packing Stone Edge, then it's going to be troublesome. I think he has to go into Raikou here, given that he hasn't revealed Stone Edge yet. Makes me think he doesn't have it. Like, I think the only thing that really stops this immediately is if a crit happens or a status ailment, like paralysis, would suck. But if that's what the Pokemon gods deem to happen, then it wasn't meant to be. And it's not like it's automatically a loss either if that happens. It's just make things a little bit trickier down the line. Okay, there's still always room for Zygarde and Diancie to do work here. Again, taking a long time. Really thinking about this. How does he navigate this S tier threat? It's proven to be able to 1v1 this Pokemon. That's what it's designed to do. If he Sword Stances here, I could immediately Strength Sap the turn after. Because I would still be able to live 2 avalanches at that point. Just gonna confirm that. Latios comes in. Interesting. Avalanche. To my Drift Bloom. Did about half that. It's surprising. The calc is not working for that, really. How many Calm Minds do I need on Drift Bloom to be able to 1v1 this Latias? Probably a lot, right? He doesn't not know that I don't have Shadow Ball though. Like, at this point, Shadow Ball would sort of threaten him. Actually, if I let him Calm Mind War me, I might lose. So I wonder if it's in my best interest to attack and then go into Diancie, just to kind of scout. +1, it's not doing a whole lot. I think it's only doing a quarter. I'd be shocked, to be honest, if... Well, I guess Calm-Mind's kind of his only play, isn't it? Actually, before I lock in, does my... does fare alright. Does pretty well, actually, and then I can come in and threaten Moonblast. And that would be another Calm Mind War. All air slash, sure. Get some damage off first. I think he's trying to get an idea of whether or not I have Shadow Ball or not, or something to hit. Ooh, the crit. Oh, and the flinch. That is unfortunate. So I can get an idea based on that crit what kind of Latias this is. It did 43%, so it's looking like close to max HP. So without the crit, I go to +2. I think I can Calm Mind here safely. Crit and flinch, like, nuts luck. Like, sure, it has a high flinch chance, but what are the odds of both of those things happening same turn? It's not like it's Serene Grace. Drifblim OP. I'm surprised it didn't go Raikou. Makes me think he has Calm Mind or Whirlwind or one of the combination. Calm Mind Roost would make sense. Does Ice Beam, okay. Yeah, okay, and there is the luck. How much did the Ice Beam do? I'd spoken into existence earlier, the status ailment. 31%. So is max attack, or max special attack. Do I die to another one? No. Max HP, max special attack. How much did that air slash do again? Uh, 43. So yeah, it has some HP, close to max. Like, yeah. I'll go into Dancy. I think this is gonna be my best turn to get a Mega off. Like, I could theoretically go for the Thaw, but take an Ice Beam, okay. So I think here I can either go for a Sub or Moonblast. Be alright. think I will sub. Because it's guaranteed not max speed based on the fact that Ice Beam was doing as much as it was. So I will be able to get a fast sub off. He has to have enough HP for my air slash to only do that much, and his Ice Beam did enough for max special attack timid. So he can't be max speed. Yeah, so I get a substitute off here. He's psychic, fine. So I can Moonblast. Surprised he stayed in, to be honest. It's kind of foddering this. Kind of questionable to me. Like, I really don't know if he has superpower on his Scizor. You'd have to click Bullet Punch every time we brought this in against, or it in against Mega Dancy, I think. So Mega Dancy nets a kill. If he goes Ursaluna, what I might just do is go for the damage and then sack this and go into Bulu. Get a Horn Leech off. I think it's my play. Even though Drifloon is frozen, it just kind of prevents him from going for a... See, I also don't want to get Trailblazed on later on with Drifloon, so I might sack that to it. So I don't know if he wants to risk me getting unthawed. So it better prevent him earlier on than later, than lose to it later. Prevent him from setting up earlier. Scizor comes in, okay. So I think what I do here is go right into my Colossal. Yeah, I really should have brought Flame Body on Colossal. I don't know why I didn't. It's built for this. It's alright. Okay, so Swords Dance. I don't think I have a play other than to Fire Punch here. If you reveal superpower, then he reveals it. Scizor. So he's out of a max attack, which I'm fairly certain he is. He actually is for sure. Colossal, a superpower. Ah, sweet. Oh, he has close combat, right? I forgot. Okay, so I think here, does Zygarde kill? If it's max HP and it is -1 defense, I believe Zygarde comes in here and gets a kill. I think. So I can go into this, quick 1,000 arrows. The only sad thing about this is that it gets a lot of very, very important damage off on my Zygarde for late game. So I really have to kind of manage my way around Rillaboom late game if I want this Pokemon to win. He likes that nickname. I feel like he sacks here. Yeah, I don't know if I navigated everything very, very well so far. Freeze did kind of suck though. I think Drifloon would have definitely caused a lot of problems given the fact they didn't go into Raikou right away. I kind of have the Drifloon curse. I've drafted a couple times with Bulu, and every time that I've brought it in a week where it's been really, really good, it's gotten haxed. Usually parried, but this time freeze. And again, it's another 10% one, so it's like the mon that's cursed for me. I think he bullet punches here. He could go Rillaboom in theory. How much is it doing to Rillaboom? If he has max HP, it does 25 minimum-ish. Takes a round of rocks. If he does go Rillaboom, not really sure what my play would be. Could go hard Bulu maybe? Like, not too sure on that. Grassy like two-shot Bulu? Not likely. No, it wouldn't. Do I really have a chance to wish against Primarina this game? I don't know if I do. It'd have to come in kind of here. Like, he either sacks this and goes Prim, or... yeah, I'm not sure. Like, that would be my only time to really wish. I guess Raikou's a wish fodder mon, technically, too. Not as much of one, though. Taking a while to make a decision here. Yeah, he does bullet punch. So scissors down. It's nice. A little bit of freedom for my Dancy. Still got that Rillaboom being cheeky, but that's alright. Soon Dancy's soon gonna just be able to click buttons. Dancy and Zygarde. Zygarde, I think its first kill of the season. I'm excited to see that. If he goes into Ursaluna here and threatens the Trailblaze. I'm wondering if I should just go for the damage. Because if he ends up Trailblazing, what I can do is get the damage off the first turn, switch out, and then threaten the potential E-speed later on after a couple rounds of Flame Orb. It would take him a couple Trailblazes to get faster than Diancie. He also doesn't have a defog, so rocks are here to stay. Both his defoggers are gone. I don't know, this is not looking too well for me, even though I'm up, I'm on. Grimmer does come in here, okay. Now the chances of this are Scarf, I think, are pretty high. Primarina. I mean, funnily enough, if he's fully offensive, like, those 1000 arrows has a chance to kill here, but I think I go Vaporeon here as my dedicated switch in. Might be able to get a Wish off and go into Bulu. Or back into this, I suppose. Depending. I'll just be curious to see how much Raikou actually does to Diancie. I'm sure it kills with a Thunderbolt at the range that Diancie's at, but I was shocked that he stayed in with his Scizor, just opted to, or sorry, with his Latias and just opted to sack it. Like, that damage could be crucial for me. I don't know if he expected the sub. Orion's in. Beam, that's okay. So I can either flip turn or Wish. Or Heal Bell, technically. Might not be a terrible play. I think that's what I'll do, actually. I think I'll Heal Bell. Get the freeze off of their Drift Blend, because that might come into play later. Just Energy Balls, interesting. I think I can Wish here. Maybe flip turn. I think I protect here, because I don't live another Energy Ball. I Wish again. Can't win this exchange. I could also kind of should be looking to see if this is specs or not. Versus my Vaporeon, it's not specs. So it's also changing up moves, so it's not choiced. So it is likely Assault Vest, potentially. So I did Wish. I think I'll Wish here. It's the best play. It's funny too, because Vaporeon actually XPs are slow now. He doesn't know that I don't have an offensive move that doesn't flip turn. Just gonna double check that I know what Avalanche does. I see. Power doubles if users damage from the target. So if Ursaluna for some reason comes in here, I just hard switch into Drifblim and I should be able to, well no, I won't be able to live an Avalanche. Actually, Avalanche is just his best play. a bit annoying. I don't know why I'd go under. Yeah. I think I can flip turn here. This kind of covers a switch into Raikou. If he does go into Raikou, it gives me a free switch into Zygarde. Okay. Question is, what does he go for? Energy Ball and Moonblast is covered by Drifblim. Does Moonblast kill my Bulu? It does. I'll try Drifblim. Might be a bad play in case he Ice Beams. It doesn't. Okay, good. That's good. So we have Marina on this. What would just Ice Beam do? To my Drifblim after +1. 48 to 57, I'd live it. Ugh. Yeah, I would go back into Vapier. Okay, interesting. Kind of spicy Moonblast. Energy Ball has been doing 38 and 40, so I don't live one. Bulu could come in. Yep, okay. And I can Horn Leech. And I hope that I'm faster. If you made his Primarina faster than his Rillaboom with no speed, then fair play, but this could be a huge turn, depending on what happens. Like if he thinks he outspeeds me, gosh, if he thinks that he doesn't and switches into something, well then, I don't know, I think Rillaboom comes in here, personally. If he gives me Primarina here and I'm faster, if I'm faster and he gives me Primarina here, that is huge. Oh my god. Oh my god. No way, thought I was faster. Although I don't know if he had a great play there, but holy crap, that is so huge for me. Bulu at full health right now? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Now how does the road to the end game look? Raikou comes in, I think I just spam Horn Leech, right? If Rillaboom comes in, I'm not too sure what I do. Maybe just the same thing, and outstall his Life Orb. Yeah, I think that's what I do. Kind of stall him on Grassy Terrain's turn 2 in case, yeah, I think that's the play. I think regardless, I just Horn Leech. Whatever's left. That is so huge, that health. Oh my gosh. I guess the real question is how much is this damn bear, the cocaine bear, how much is it doing to Bulu with both Avalanche and Facade? Okay, so something I could do is bulk up on Ursaluna. Just do one bulk up. If he switches in Ursaluna here, I could bulk up once. And then okay, Raikou's in. I think I just spam Horn Leech. Just gonna make sure it doesn't get a coverage move for me that I'm overthinking. The best move he has to hit me would be Extra Sensories there, Shadow Ball, one of those. Yeah, one of those, okay. So I Horn Leech. Reflect, interesting. That is interesting. How much is a Raikou Shadow Ball doing to my Bulu? It is not doing a lot. I think I bulk up. Interesting. This is a very interesting Raikou. Ooh, Toxic. Wow. What is this Raikou? This is so unfortunate. Like, I think if he hit the Toxic there, I might have lost to Ursaluna. Maybe. Actually, no. Well, depends. Depends on how it played out with Rillaboom coming in, what time it came in. In reality, I think I could have always gone back into Drifblim on Rillaboom, so I don't know. I really don't know what happens. There we go, Magic Bounce. That is so sad. Calm Mind here, do I have a chance of living a Thunderbolt? No. No. So I think I just probably Moonblast, right? No sense in overprotecting going Zygarde. Is that right? How much is Zygarde taking from this? 23 to 27. Oh, I definitely go Zygarde. I'm sorry. This is so evil. I feel like I go Zygarde here. No, sir. Do I predict the switch out? This is tricky. I'm trying to stall turns as much as I can. I just don't want him to toxic this. Oh my god. That is so funny. I don't know if I need Vaporeon anymore. Could sack that. Yeah, I'll sack Vaporeon here. That's okay. Maybe flip turn out on this. I wonder why I saved Raikou. It dies to rocks. I think. It's gonna be close anyway. I think I just slow flip turned out into Bulu. Ah, there it is. Okay. Spawn is in. I think I go Bulu here. Horn Leech. Damn, I'm just realizing how Swords Dance Rillaboom, how scary that mon is for my draft. Although I will say, I don't know if it would have affected my team had the earlier game things not had happened with the freeze on Drifblim, and I don't know, he might have played around with Latias differently against Drifblim had he not gotten flinched and crit. So lots could have been said. Lots could have been different. Actually, let me think. Do I want to bulk up? I think I want to bulk up, actually. Because I'm just realizing I'm thinking I don't kill with Horn Leech. And I don't want to die to an Avalanche. Yeah, I don't kill unless I bulk up. Yeah, I have to bulk up. Okay, good, good. And now I Horn Leech. Right? +1. Should kill. Like I could bulk up again, but a facade's doing a lot. Actually, let me see how much exactly it's doing. Facade. Yeah. I don't know if I want to risk it. Because even if I bulk up once more, well, I could. Like, I don't know. I'm just super worried about a crit, I guess. Although, do I not just win if I bulk up twice? I'm not sure. Like, how much is Rillaboom taking from this again? 27 to 31. After rocks. It's at 84%. Let's play here. Okay, I'll bulk up once more, sure. I'll Horn Leech actually, just in case he makes a cheeky switch into Raikou and he doesn't, actually wait, no, I'll bulk up, because I forgot about Rocks and Toxic. I think I went with a bulk up here. Gosh, my mind is all over the place. This is a long battle. I'm going for... not sure how long. Almost an hour. Just we're kind of both thinking. I think more so Dagster than me, to be honest, but... Okay, let's see how you do here. Sods me, yep. Okay, now I Horn Leech. For sure. I think this ensures the win here. There we go. Our full health. If Rillaboom comes in, I get Grassy Terrain boost for Horn Leech, and if Raikou comes in, it dies to Rocks, potentially. And I think I can 1v1 the Rillaboom from there. I think his best play here is to go Raikou and try to get the Toxic off on me, but I'm like, I think it's a good chance he dies to Rocks. If he's more than 0.1 over Rocks then. Or, okay, he goes Rillaboom, interesting. I Horn Leech. Just Horn Leech and pray, really. Zygarde cleans up if Boo doesn't, really. Like, this is a clear path to victory here. At this point. Also might net a kill if Raikou does to Rocks. I kind of do wish Dagster would hurry up a little bit, not gonna lie. I'm starting to get the sense of how a couple of my opponents felt in the doubles league, where I was taking a long time to think about my moves. I don't know, I just find with singles it's a little bit easier to think it out. Don't need as much time really, at least for me, to think up my plays. I think with doubles it's a little trick here. I have to consider a lot more options. I'm kind of thankful they gave me the Ursaluna health there. I'm kind of surprised it didn't go into Raikou, sacked it, and then gone into Rillaboom and had me at lower health. That would have been his best chance, because if his Rillaboom outsped me and got off a Woodhammer and crit me, would have been a crit, or would have needed to be a crit. Things could have been different. Yeah, that's GG. He's gonna... Oh, now the question, does Raikou get the... or Colossal get the kill? Yes, it does. Yes. Ah, that's cool. From the grave. Good stuff. Alright. Well, Bulu really cleaned up here. Oh, he was Sword Stance. Oh my god. If he clicked Sword Stance at any point there, that could have been very, very different, but I am not gonna complain about that. I think the battle could have gotten very, very different had certain things gone a different way. Oh, shit. Gone a different way earlier on with the play against Latias, where Driftblow air slashed it into crit and flinch. Who's to say what he would have done there? He might have clicked Calm Mind that turn, and then opted to Ice Beam the turn after. So yeah, a lot of unsaid things. I'll have to have a chat with him after. Might hop in a VC with him and Jord of the Rings and discuss the battle and, you know, get his side of things. But yeah, I'm gonna take a 5-0 win for now. Bulu really showed up here. I'm glad Zygar got some screen time. A little bit unfortunate I couldn't pull off the Driftbloom tech this week, but who knows, it might be another week or two. We'll see that happen. But yeah, guys, that's really it. I won't keep you guys any longer. And for any of you that are still watching this battle, I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you for week 3. All right, bye-bye.